C. Now, counsel to the claimant, Mr. Chiwanga Isaiah Paul, said the judge has considered all prayers of his client and the fact that the defendants did not defend any of the relief sought or file anything to show that they intend to defend the suit, granted all the 10 relief sought by the claimants. In delivering the judgment, Justice Musa reinstated Abbo Kayuba as the Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, while granting an injunction restraining the current Speaker, Yakubu Sanda, from parading himself as the Speaker of the Assembly. The court also granted the sum of 20 million naira be paid as exemplary damages to the claimants and went further to make a consequential order to the effect that all the emoluments, salaries, bonuses and allowances of the reinstated Speaker be paid him from October 28, 2021 till the day of the expiration of his term as the Speaker of the Assembly. The judge also awarded the sum of 1.5 million naira to be paid as the cost of appearance in favour of counsel to the claimant, while another sum of 138,350 is to be paid as the cost for filing the suit. Now, shortly after the judgment was delivered, the reinstated Speaker made an appearance at the Plateau State House of Assembly complex. And he told journalists, quote, "We are here in the complex, in the premises of the House of Assembly, because all of us were elected to represent our various constituencies. We still have some months left for us to continue the assignment that was duly given to us by our various constituencies, even though there was a crisis some time ago, but today the court has given these terms against that illegality that was done." Now, from the ruling of the judge, it's obvious that the entire process that led to the removal of the then Speaker, now Speaker, was illegal. As a matter of fact, the defendant in the matter did not file anything at all, made no presentations at all, did not put up a defense against any of the relief sought by the applicants. Nothing. Zero defense. So even they knew that their actions were illegal. However, those actions now deemed illegal by the courts remove the person from office for 18 months. 18 months. I mean, there is nothing that can bring that back. Yes, the judge ruled, made some salaries and allowances or other emoluments that should have come to him as Speaker of the House from that time for the entire 18-month duration should be given to him now. Yes, well, that can be given to him. However, decisions that should have been reached, representations he may have made on behalf of the state or his constituency as Speaker of the House, or the effect or impact it may have had on the legislature and consequently on the state in its capacity as Speaker of the House, all of that can never be brought back, cannot be reinstated. So in some way, the illegality did have some win. It did have some wins. Now, that said, there is something referred to as legislative immunity, which brings me to the matter, the specific matter or question. Well, this is the specific matter, but the question of today's conversation. Should legislative members get punished for breaking the law in the course of discharging their duties? Because this is an illegality. The members of the Plateau State House of Assembly who are engaged in this illegality should know the process. Should know, and by the way, even if they did not know, ignorance of the law has never been an excuse to break the law. However, these are members of the legislature whose only job, by the way, or primary job is lawmaking. That's the job. Before you make fresh laws, you should know existing laws. And if there's one law they should know, by the way, it is the process to impeaching the Speaker of the House of Assembly. They should know that. However, they violated every law on the matter in effecting this illegal plot. And I mentioned earlier on, there is this thing called legislative immunity, however. What is it? The extant practice worldwide is to provide legislative immunity for lawmakers. In other words, legislators are protected by law from being prosecuted for claims and statements made inside the chambers of the legislature. So, basically what this means is, while members of the legislature are in chamber doing their legislative work, they are immune from prosecution for whatever they say while discharging that duty. Another definition here says, legal legislative immunity is a legal doctrine that protects legislators from being sued for all actions taken in the sphere of legitimate legislative activity. I'd like to put in quotes, legitimate legislative activity. How about when they engage in illegitimate legislative activity? How about when they engage in illegal legislative activity? Because obviously, impeaching of and not following due process, not following the prescriptions of law as far as such impeachment is concerned, is an illegality and cannot be deemed legitimate legislative activity. At least I suppose so. I don't think anything that's illegal can be legitimate at the same time. So, should legislative members get punished? For example, in the Plateau State situation, where these persons who are less than a third of the, a third majority or 2/3 majority, I think, which is required, or who are less than 16, which was a requirement or is a requirement by law, went ahead to effect this impeachment of the Speaker of the House of Assembly in Plateau State, an obvious illegality. Should they be punished? Or is it simply, oh well, they did it. The Speaker should just thank God. They should, if he's a Christian, he should go for Thanksgiving this Sunday and thank God that his mandate has been given back to him. And thank the good people of Plateau State and his supporters for being there and standing by him through all these travails and this trying time. And he should urge his supporters to ensure they maintain the peace. And by the way, we also thank the judiciary for standing firm. We thank the judiciary for standing firm. The judiciary has stood firm and has uphold that. The judiciary has once again proven to be the bastion. Pardon me, I'm sorry. Proven to be the bastion and the hope of our democracy for upholding our laws. And we will continue to serve the people. The people who have called us and given us this mandate. We will continue to serve the people. Should it just end there? And these members of the Plateau State House of Assembly should continue and the highs should just keep on having it? Or should they be punished? And not just them, but any other members of the legislature anywhere in the country at state level, local, non-existent local level, or the federal level, should legislative members get punished for breaking the law in the course of discharging their duties? Lines open, call 070-0923-0923. Or better yet, call 0817-923-0002 or 0817-923-0003 or 0007. We are live on facebook.com/NigeriaInfoPH. We're also live on Twitter at NigeriaInfoPH. YouTube as well, NigeriaInfoPH. Once again, should legislative members get punished for breaking the law in the course of discharging their duties? Especially when they carry out an illegality while they are said to be discharging those legislative duties. For example, illegally impeaching a speaker. It's illegal. It should never have happened. And as a matter of fact, in the eyes of the law, it did not happen. I believe that's why the judge also added the consequential orders that everything that was due him as Speaker of the House, which he did not get for that 18-month duration, should be given to him now. And by the way, that means somebody else, the Sander fellow, the Sander Honorable, had been receiving all this. So is it going to be? Will the House of Assembly ask him to return it so that they give it to the current Speaker? Once again, call 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, or 0817-923-0007. Hello, you're welcome. Once again, please do not call the 0700 number. Preferably do call 0817-923-0002. If you really want to have a conversation with me, I strongly advise that you call any of the following numbers. 0817 923 0002, 0817 923 0003, or 081 93 007 or 000. A reminder that we're also live on Twitter and Facebook at Nigeria Info PH. By the way, the headlines come up shortly at 5:30. I do have a commercial break, however, in a few minutes as well before the headlines. But the line's open still. Let's get your take, if you do have a take on this. Should legislative members get punished for breaking the law in the course of discharging their duties? Or, should we simply just move on with life? Zero 0817 923 0002, or 0817 923 0003, or 0817 923 0007. Hello?
Hello there.
You're welcome, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we are living in a very lawless society where anybody can do anything and nothing happens. Because those guys should actually be punished, and the guy who will be collecting whatever was due for the man that was impeached should be refunded completely to the man. But in Nigeria, anything goes. It's unfortunate. That's my comment.
Okay. Do you have a comment on this? Let's get your comment as well. Call the numbers or send a message in. Hello?
Hello.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah. The way Nigerian constitution is structured, gives a lot of leverage, free leverage to the legislature. So what can be done as a penalty to air is also limited to the House. For the public, they only have this process of withdrawal. So every other penalty, because this is being like that.
We'll go for commercial break right now. Once again, headlines 5:30. Discussions continue after that, however. Do please stay with us.
Nigeria Info. Right back after this. Dial.
Okay, Mark, it is about 28 minutes gone past 5 o'clock, and, probably shouldn't have come back now. We do have the headlines coming up at 5:30, after which I said discussions were going to continue. Anyways, maybe just a few quick messages, then the headlines, and then discussions continue afterwards. Let's see. Good evening, Dial. Obviously, the answer is yes. Anyone who breaks the law, irrespective of his position, should be served the consequences of it to the fullest, as enshrined in our Constitution. Not only the illegal speaker, but the other 7 or 8 members of the Plateau State House of Assembly should be served breakfast too. Now, cast your mind back to that where the various State Houses of Assembly speakers were impeaching governors from various hotels and government house quarters, yet none has been imprisoned for such rascality. Any of court judgment condemning such acts, and that's from Michael. All right, so a break for the headlines. I'll return shortly. Please stay with us.
Nigeria Info,
the hub for information,
current affairs, and
And you're welcome back. We got 28 minutes to go before 6 p.m. The major news is up at 6. Still 92.3 Nigeria Info, the number one talk station. I'm Dio with the hard facts. Let's talk still. Yeah, court reinstates impeached Plateau Speaker after 18 months. Justice Nafisa Lawal Musa of the Plateau State High Court on Monday reinstated Abok Ayuba as the Speaker of the State House of Assembly more than 18 months after he was removed. Ayuba represents Jos East constituency and was impeached on October 28, 2021 by some members of the State Assembly in controversial circumstances and replaced by another lawmaker, Yakubu Sanda, who represents the Pengana State constituency. Dissatisfied with the process that led to the impeachment of Abok, 2 members of the House approached the court for redress. They sought, amongst other things, a declaration that the sitting of the Plateau State House of Assembly on Thursday, October 28, 2021, between the hours of 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. is unparliamentary in violation of the provision of Order 6 Rule of the Plateau State House of Assembly, Rules 2021. Therefore, unlawful, null and void. Also asked the court to declare that the procedure adopted for the removal of the defendant, Nuhu Abok Ayuba, violated the provisions of Section 92, Top 2C of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as altered, and Order 7 Rule 4 of the Plateau State House of Assembly, Rules 2021, therefore unconstitutional, null, void, and of no effect. Another relief sought by the claimants is the removal of the defendant as Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly by the votes of less than two-thirds majority or 16 members of the Assembly, which violated provisions of Section 92 sub 2C as well. Counsel to the claimant, Chiwang Isaiah Paul, said the judge has considered all prayers of his clients and the fact that the defendants did not defend any of the relief sought or file anything to show that they intend to defend the suit granted all the 10 reliefs sought by the claimants. So, let's get your take then. So basically, legislative rascality, I think, might be an appropriate expression in this scenario. But once again, there is such a thing referred to as legislative immunity. The extant practice worldwide is to provide legislative immunity for lawmakers on statements made on the floor of the House during debate. In other words, legislators are protected by law from being prosecuted for claims and statements made inside the chambers of the legislature. Legislative immunity also is a legal doctrine that protects legislators from being sued for all actions taken in the sphere of legitimate legislative activity. Legitimate legislative activity. And by the way, just to be clear, there is no immunity for legislators in our Constitution. It is simply a convention, the conventional practice worldwide that legislators, especially when they are in chamber doing their job, they enjoy some immunity from prosecution for whatever is said or done while they're in the chambers. However, how about outright criminal acts? This could be deemed a criminal act, I suppose, when you violate the law. I mean, the law stipulates, the law is very clear on the process, and you violate all of those laws such that when the matter comes up in court, you can't even put up one defense, not one defense. And yes, the speaker has been reinstated, but he was out of office for 18 months because of this. So, thus comes the question. Should legislative members get punished for breaking the law in the course of discharging their duties? The line's open. Call 070-093-093. Preferably, and that might be easier, call 0817 923 0002 or 0817 923 0003 or 0817 923 0007. Hello, you're welcome.
Hello. Emma from Port Harcourt.
All right, go ahead.
I was speaking earlier before I got shot. I said, when they commit these offenses collectively, you know the way it looks like, as if there is no punishment specified at the house for them. Rather, they have their house rules that particularly deals with individuals. Ordinarily, it is also the court that is expected to now rule on the punishment for such radical or rascal proceedings. But I think, not being a lawyer, of course, I think that there is not enough room in the Constitution that provides for collective penalty of the assembly or the group like that. So I'm thinking that may be the reason for which judges or courts try to win.
Yeah, be that as it may, and I just said a while ago that there is something referred to as legislative immunity. I explained that in some detail. What I'm asking you is this: in spite of this legislative immunity or whatever shortcomings you perceive there might be in the existing law, do you think they should be punished? That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah, that's what I say. Because my exam constitution says any offender of any law should be punished. And that's exactly, they should be punished, but the process for which their punishment will come is what we are suffering. It's only just that the poor the public, they have only the right of applying for withdrawal by their signatories. Any other thing, they are limited to whatever step again, punitive. So it is the court that is expected, because that one not appearing before the court, not even in fact carrying out legislative rascality without even record to Nigeria or the state where we represent. I think they should be punished. They should be punished.
Okay, how about you? Let's get your take. The line is still open. Once again, to call in 0817 923 0002 or 0003 or 0007. Got some messages here. I believe that there should be guidelines or punitive measures. Okay, I'll come back to that shortly. Let's try a call. All right. Hello, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah. If I got your question correctly, should they get punished, legislators, for breaking the law and the discharge of their duties? Yes, to an extent. I hope you can hear me, Dio.
Yes, I can. Go on.
Yes, to an extent, no one, or to every extent, no one is above the law. You understand? And in the discharge of your duties, it's not only discharging your duties, but you must discharge them effectively to those, to the electorate, to those who made sure that you were elected into that position. But I came to understand that there's no, because I just learned something for what you just said, there's no immunity for those, for elected.
No, there isn't. They don't have immunity in the law, but there is a convention, and it's a worldwide convention that members of the legislature do not get prosecuted for what they do, what they say, while discharging their duties, especially while they're in chamber, on the floor of the House. Okay. Or in Senate, as the case may be.
Okay. If they fall short of the law, I think after their period of serving, I think they should be tried in a competent court of jurisdiction. Perhaps that convention gives them that leverage to operate freely.
But do you think that convention should be upheld? Because I mean, have you wondered why, for example, House members or assault each other? And nobody goes to court. I mean, you have seen videos of where people are smashing furniture on each other.
Yeah, the House of Assembly, Rivers State 2013, yes, and others.
Yeah, and others, exactly. You know, we see these things happen. You know, somebody, I think, slapped somebody in the House of Reps some years ago as well. These things happened, yet. Yeah. So because of that, and it's a convention, like I said, there's nothing in our laws that says you cannot prosecute a honorable or a senator, you know, but it's just convention. Do you think that convention should stand?
Well, the convention should still stand. I still repeat my stance is, I think after that tenure of that legislator, the case should be open, and they should look critically into what conspired some time ago. You understand? The person must not really be allowed to walk freely. If not, so many of those sham will be going on unabated.
Why do you think the convention should stand?
For me, I think that it should stand because, let's just say we're respecting them in quotes, and respect is one of those things, and for me, we should just try to uphold, will I say, rule of law. So
we're respecting persons even when they're breaking the law?
Perhaps we should also, outside them breaking the law, but a special inquiry will be set up to look into where they are falling short. We're not trying to say we are forgiving them. We're trying to say, okay, at this point in time, you'll be made to face the wrath of the law if you have gone afoul of it.
But while they're in office, they can keep on breaking the law.
Well, if they know that at a certain time they will certainly come to book, I don't think they will continue with that.
Oh, okay. Are you saying then that the deterrence in the law automatically stops crime?
To an extent, it does. To a greater extent, it does.
All right. What do you think? We got some 18 minutes to go. I think how is it punished? But I don't know the reason why they should have stayed up to more than 1.5 years in court or crying out loud. That's with Dr. Jumbo. But that's a good question as well. That's a good point to note also. I mean, for something that appears very clear-cut and quite straightforward, I mean, one wonders why it took 18 months. Well, I didn't exactly determine. Maybe I need to check for when exactly the applicants filed their matter in court. But I strongly suspect it couldn't have after the impeachment, the illegal impeachment was said to have happened. So why it took 18 months? Why it even took longer than a year at all? Why it took longer than 6 months? Completely beyond me. Is something I can't even fathom. But anyways, it is what it is. But once we can question the judiciary, and I think that's a valid conversation to be had as well, as to why the matter took longer than even a month. The defendants in the matter did not even file one defense, against all the relief sought by the applicants. Not one defense was put up. So it seemed like a cut, like a dry case. If the fact of the matter itself make the case look quite cut and dry, very obvious, and then to help the system, to help the process, the defendants put up a defense. So what exactly was the court considering for bargains? Like I said, we can have that conversation as well. However, how about honorables who ought to know what the law says about impeaching the Speaker of a House? And then there's earlier than usual, between 6 and 7 a.m., and they conducted a sham impeachment. They did not constitute 2/3 of the House, or 16, which by law, required by the Constitution and even rules as well, the rules of the Assembly, violated every law and went ahead anyways. Now, the only Nigerians who were restricted from prosecution are President, VP, and the Deputy. One of the legislators and prosecuted for is full actions and that is owed during plenary. Because they are default exit. Now, how can any lawmaker not know what the mathematics of 2/3 members of a particular assembly is? Isn't that why the Constitution says all the assistants to be educated to a minimum level? Now, if anyone sought criminal prosecution for legislative rascality such as this, if our legislators can be tried for misappropriating funds while performing their legislative duties, why are they tried for misinterpretation of laws? The issue is, has anyone sought after the prosecution of any legislator that's attacked? Well, that's as well as. But when you say anyone, remember we're talking about a criminal matter here. An individual or individuals, no matter how many they are, cannot file criminal matter court. They can't do that. Only that. The best that an individual can do is file a fundamental rights claim. Hello, welcome.
The name is Charles calling from it.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I think the idea behind this, the object must be achieved. So taking that action and then go to. I think in general jurisprudence, we need to make sure people that go people like this are punished for their actions. So I think I will also support the legislature, even when you make things or you take actions in the arbiters for the detriment of somebody's own civil rights. I think a disaster with Speaker for the past 18 months. He has been deprived of that the past 18 months. You have suffered injuries. So based on that, I think a civil suit can be strengthened and prevent needed as all. That's my position on that, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, that's a few comments via Facebook on bills I give in the land. Punch a lawyer, a businessman, old man with a break law. Politician, masses will begin to shout witch hunt. The law become weak. For me, whoever breaks the law should be punished. And this is an interesting comment. But Beckett, you wrote, I tried to be constructive. Well, I'll try again. It's an interesting position to put forward nonetheless. Negatively, in our land, a country, you could punish lawyers, doctors, men with politicians. The masses will begin to witch hunt. That's deep, you ask me. It's deep. If the matter, the punished, the law takes its course. When honorable breaks the same law, or excellency breaks the same law, you'll find that the masses that may have been punished for breaking a similar law will start to shout witch hunt. Witch hunt. Also via Facebook, Emmanuel Ibiri goes, this man. Okay, I'll come back to Emmanuel's comment shortly. Hello, hard factor, welcome.
Hello.
All right, go ahead.
Good evening.
Go ahead, please.
I'm Matthew calling from Mbaba. The truth is that most of the house, the members in the house, are not going back Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go on.
Okay, I said the truth is that why the truth is coming out now is that is solely and there's some that will now reveal what actually happened. And truth have to break. That is why. That's Jacob. Thank you.
You are. Let's go to that comment now, I suppose. The amount of Facebook has died. There's been an assume that people to them copy them, emulate them, and use the answer to measure legalities. So they should thoroughly be punished when they break the sword laws. In fact, punishment should be held in the highest sanctity, else they influence their sheep. So convention is the reason why anybody qualified, not even the what the law one to serve the people. If the ban is removed, our country will be good at from promise. The main problem is the sense of consequences for making it's a safe nurse in China. The commission, for example, is answerable to a superior officer. Most superiors have compromised in prison. That's some bomb. Okay, got a reply or rejoined, if you will, from text. You said through the AGF State Attorney General can bring criminal prosecution against the accused. Very true. And this points to the caliber of people we are electing as president and governors, because they nominate AGF and State Attorney General respectively. If we get morally upright Nigerians into this position, they are more likely to have taken this course of action in our text. And that reminds me, or that brings to the fore the situation in the USA right now, where former President Trump, what the time is right now, I think it was 2 p.m. American time, he to stand trial in a court in New York, I think, because the DA over there has preferred charges against him. A grand jury indicted him, and he is standing trial. Can that happen in Nigeria? An AGF or a state attorney general bring a matter against a former president in Nigeria and say, Your Excellency, Mr. President, for former president, you hereby stand accused of this. You have been indicted of committing influencing crimes, and you will face prosecution. And I thought that former president will be arrested and charged to court. Can that happen in Nigeria? Anyways, the commercial break coming up moment, and top of the hour at 6 o'clock. Yeah, top of the hour at 6. Major news coming up that we do, and let's see. Scorch continue right after that. Please stay tuned. Hard Fact continues afterward with the open season, a review of all the matters discussed on the show today. If you haven't had a say on any of the issues, do join in then to get your stay around.